It's one of those wonderfully quirky subplots that somehow fits perfectly into the movie's offbeat rhythm.
Seen it once, don't remember when. Think it's time to watch it again. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop the last Friday. It's a Matt, forgot that. It's a Matt, forgot that. It's a Matt, forgot that podcast.
Welcome to the Matt Forgot That podcast, the place to recollect and reminisce. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to rewatch and review a movie or TV pilot that I've seen before but don't quite remember. It could be a blockbuster, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Before we start, frequent listeners of the podcast have known that I've been 100% completely wrong with everything having to do with the Warner Brothers sale. And there have been so many twists and turns that I don't even remember what I initially predicted. I think I thought that Netflix was a lock into buying them. And I was kind of behind that idea because I just didn't want any more consolidation with studios merging. And look, I get it. Netflix is a studio and a behemoth at that. Its main focus is still streaming. That's its bread and butter. They're not in all the businesses that Warner Brothers Discovery is in. But then Paramount swooped in and got the okay from the government to buy Warner Brothers Discovery after Trump donor Larry Ellison may or may not have given money to his campaign. Well, just when it looked like Hollywood's biggest deal was heading toward the finish line, the script got a rewrite. The proposed merger between Paramount Skydance and Warner Brothers Discovery is officially on hold. Rather than moving forward immediately, both companies have agreed to press pause while a legal challenge over the deal plays out in court. Boy, this is a will they, won't they that's turned into a Ross and Rachel Friends-level relationship. The lawsuit comes from a group of 12 states led by California, which argues that combining two of Hollywood's biggest studios could reduce competition. Their concern is that having fewer major players in the entertainment business could eventually mean fewer choices for audiences and higher costs for consumers. A federal judge temporarily blocked the companies from completing the merger while those issues are reviewed. Now here's where things get expensive. Every day this merger sits in limbo could end up costing Paramount millions of dollars under the terms of the agreement. So while lawyers are making their arguments in court, accountants are probably watching the calendar very, very closely. If the merger is eventually approved, it would create one of the largest entertainment companies in the world. Think about it. Warner Brothers, HBO Max, CNN, DC Studios, CBS, Paramount Pictures, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and MTV, all operating under the same corporate umbrella. Supporters say that this kind of scale is necessary to compete with streaming giants. Opponents argue it's simply too much entertainment power concentrated in one company. So for now, Hollywood's biggest crossover event isn't happening on the big screen, it's happening in the courtroom. Whether this blockbuster gets the green light or ends up canceled before opening weekend is a story the industry will be monitoring closely. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'm rewatching and reviewing White Men Can't Jump from 1992. It was written and directed by Ron Shelton, former minor league infielder for the Baltimore Orioles, who helmed sports comedy Bull Durham, biographical sports drama Cobb, rom-com golf flick Tin Cup, thriller Dark Blue, and buddy cop actioner Hollywood Homicide. He also wrote the screenplay for those movies and political thriller Under Fire, basketball drama Blue Chips, and boxing comedy The Great White Hype. He's been nominated for one Academy Award for Best Writing, screenplay written directly for the screen for Bull Durham. He was inducted into the Rochester Red Wings Hall of Fame in 2017. It stars Woody Harrelson as Billy Hoyle. He first won audiences over as the lovable bartender Woody Boyd on Cheers, then completely shattered expectations by diving into daring roles in films like Natural Born Killers, The People vs. Larry Flint, and White Men Can't Jump, proving he could bounce effortlessly between comedy and drama. Along the way, he became the king of the unforgettable supporting role, stealing scenes in everything from No Country for Old Men and Zombieland to the Hunger Games series, while also delivering acclaimed leading performances in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and True Detective. What makes Harrelson so much fun to watch is that he never seems interested in playing the obvious choice. He can be charming, intimidating, hilarious, heartfelt, or completely unhinged, sometimes all in the same movie. He's still one of Hollywood's most reliable, that guy makes every movie better actors, and somehow he always looks like he's having just as much fun as the audience. Wesley Snipes portrays Sidney Dean, bursting onto the scene with standout performances in films like Major League, New Jack City, and White Men Can't Jump. Snipes quickly established himself as one of Hollywood's most magnetic leading men. He had the rare ability to make action heroes look effortless, dramatic characters feel authentic, and comedic moments land with perfect timing. Then came Demolition Man, where he delivered one of the most gleeful, over-the-top villains of the decade, before cementing his action legend status with the Blade trilogy, proving vampires never stood a chance against a guy wearing sunglasses at night. Beyond the martial arts skills and undeniable screen presence, Snipes has always brought charisma to every role, whether he's cracking jokes on the basketball court or saving the world one roundhouse kick at a time. His career has had its ups and downs, but his influence on action films and comic book movies is undeniable. And every time he appears on screen, he reminds audiences why he's been one of Hollywood's coolest stars for decades. White Men Can't Jump also features Rosie Perez, Kadeem Hardison, Ernest Hardin Jr., John Marshall Jones, and David Robertson. So let's jump into it. This is what I remember. Billy's first hustle. The movie wastes no time introducing Billy Hoyle's greatest superpower, getting everyone to underestimate him. Watching the streetball crowd confidently bet against him, only to see him light up the court, is the perfect never judge a book by its cover moment. Billy and Sidney in the Trash Talk Olympics. Before they become partners, Billy and Sidney spend as much time and energy roasting each other as they do playing basketball. Their verbal sparring is every bit as entertaining as the game itself. Then we had Gloria's Jeopardy Dreams. While everyone is obsessed with basketball and hustling, Gloria is determined to conquer trivia. Her unwavering confidence and quirky study sessions add a charming, offbeat layer to the movie. And last, of course, is the slam dunk debate. Billy's obsession with proving he can dunk becomes one of the film's funniest running gags. It's a perfect example of how pride can become just as fierce of an opponent as anyone standing across the court. Now, I'm heading off to rewatch the movie. This is what I forgot. We kick things off by meeting Billy Hoyle, a scruffy drifter who looks like he'd rather be surfing than hooping. That's exactly his secret weapon. Everyone sizes him up, assumes he can't play, and then watches in disbelief as he drains jumper after jumper. Billy isn't just playing basketball, he's running a full-time confidence scam, making money by letting people underestimate him. Enter Sidney Dean, a smooth-talking streetball star with endless swagger and enough charisma to fill the entire court. After Billy embarrasses Sidney in a game, sparks fly. Their rivalry is hilarious, fueled by non-stop insults, bruised egos, and a mutual determination to prove who's really the better player. But here's the twist. Instead of staying enemies, These two realize they can make a whole lot more money working together than trying to beat each other. It's the classic reluctant partners setup. Except their partnership is held together with equal parts talent, trash talk, and barely controlled frustration. Meanwhile, we get a peek into Billy's home life with his girlfriend Gloria, who's studying for Jeopardy like it's the Olympics, while trying to keep Billy's endless gambling schemes from sinking them both. Their relationship adds plenty of laughs and reminds us that Billy's biggest opponent might not be the guys on the court. It's his own inability to stop chasing the next big score. So the stage is set, Billy and Sydney have formed an uneasy alliance, the money games are getting bigger, and you just know that two guys this competitive are eventually going to clash. It's a fun, fast-paced opening, packed with slick basketball, razor-sharp banter, and enough 90s style to make you want to dust off an old pair of high tops. Here's a quote without context. "My mother was too drunk to be an astronaut." White Men Can't Jump is a movie that proves two things. Trash talk is an art form, and never judge a basketball player by the color of his tube socks. At first glance, this looks like a simple sports comedy, but it's really a buddy movie disguised as a street ball hustle. Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson have the kind of chemistry you can't fake. 1 minute they're trying to hustle each other, the next they're reluctantly teaming up, and 5 minutes later they're arguing over who's the bigger idiot. It's a beautiful cycle. What makes the movie work isn't just the basketball, although the pickup games are energetic and surprisingly authentic. It's the personalities. Billy Hoyle is convinced he's the smartest guy in every room, even when every decision he makes says otherwise. Sidney Dean has endless confidence, endless swagger, and just enough bad luck to keep things interesting. Watching these two constantly test each other's patience is half the fun. And then there's Gloria, played by Rosie Perez, who quietly steals every scene she's in. While Billy is risking everything for one more payday, Gloria is laser-focused on her dream of appearing on Jeopardy! It's one of those wonderfully quirky subplots that somehow fits perfectly into the movie's offbeat rhythm. The humor still lands because it comes from the characters rather than the punchlines. The insults fly faster than the basketball, but underneath all the bravado is a story about pride, trust, and learning that talent only gets you so far if your ego keeps calling the plays. Visually, the film is a time capsule of early 90s Los Angeles. The outdoor courts feel alive, the soundtrack is packed with upbeat rhythms, and the whole movie has this laid-back energy that makes you want to grab a basketball, even if your jump shot has absolutely no business leaving the ground. Sure, some of the cultural attitudes and language reflect the era in which it was made, so modern audiences may notice moments that feel dated, but the central themes, challenging stereotypes, building unlikely friendships, and realizing that everyone brings something different to the table, still resonate today. White Men Can't Jump is more than a basketball movie. It's a smart, funny character comedy with memorable performances, razor-sharp dialogue, and enough competitive energy to make every game feel like the NBA Finals, even when the prize is a handful of crumpled bills and bragging rights. Now for a little trivial trivia. Charlie Sheen, David Duchovny, and Keanu Reeves were considered for the role of Billy Hoyle, while Fox originally wanted Denzel Washington for Sidney Dean. White Men Can't Jump was distributed by 20th Century Fox and filmed at Venice Beach, Santa Monica, and Baldwin Hills, all in Los Angeles, California. The cinematography was captured by Russell Boyd, whose filmography includes war drama Gallipoli, fish out of water comedy Crocodile Dundee, and comic book adaptation Ghost Rider. He won an Academy Award for Best Cinematography for Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World in 2004. It was edited by Kimberly Ray, who worked on sports sequel Major League 2, stoner comedy Dude, Where's My Car, and episodes of medical drama House. And Paul Sater, whose credits include buddy cop comedy Turner and Hooch, boxing drama Play It to the Bone, and rom-com Because I Said So. The score was composed by Benny Wallace, who wrote the music for political drama Blaze and action-adventure Midnight Runaround. The soundtrack featured songs by College Boys, James Brown, Level 3, Jody Watley, and Ray Charles. The runtime is 1 hour 55 minutes. It had a budget of $31 million and grossed $90 million at the box office. A little-known basketball video game based on the film was developed by Atari and released on their Jaguar console in 1995. It was called a poor man's version of NBA Jam. A remake starring Sinqua Walls and Jack Harlow was released in 2023 on Hulu. It was called a poor man's version of the original. On the Ski Index, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. This is a solid 4, no doubter 4, highly entertaining movie. If you've seen White Men Can't Jump and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattForgotThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post throwback clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Forgot That Playback. Emerging from New York City's Greenwich Village folk scene in the early 80s, Suzanne Vega brought a fresh blend of poetic lyricism, understated vocals, and razor-sharp observation at a time when pop music often leaned toward big production and even bigger personalities. Her self-titled debut album, Suzanne Vega, introduced audiences to her intimate songwriting style with songs like Marlene on the Wall and Small Blue Thing, earning critical acclaim and establishing her as one of the most promising new voices in contemporary folk. Her breakthrough arrived in 1987 with Solitude Standing, an album that became an international success and remains her signature work. It featured 2 of the defining songs of the decade, Luca, a compassionate and groundbreaking song told from the perspective of an abused child that became a worldwide hit, and Tom's Diner, whose simple a cappella performance would later take on a remarkable second life. While the original version was already beloved, a 1990 remix transformed it into an international dance hit, introducing Vega to an entirely new audience. Even more remarkably, the original recording became famous in technology circles after engineers developing the MP3 audio compression format used it as a reference track to test and refine the codec, earning Tom's Diner the affectionate nickname the mother of the MP3. Rather than repeating herself, Vega continued to evolve throughout the 90s. Days of Open Hand explored more mature and introspective themes, while 99.9 Degrees Fahrenheit surprised fans by blending her folk roots with electronic textures, alternative rock, and industrial influences. The album demonstrated her willingness to experiment without sacrificing the thoughtful songwriting that defined her career. She followed it with 9 Objects of Desire, which included the fan favorite Caramel, a smoky, jazz-infused song that found new life through its appearance in the film The Truth About Cats and Dogs. Like many artists navigating a changing music industry, Vega experienced a quieter recording period in the early 2000s, but she never stopped creating. She expanded into writing, released live recordings, and remained an active touring artist with a devoted international fan base. One of her most ambitious projects came with the Close-Up series, in which she re-recorded many of her classic songs with fresh arrangements, allowing longtime fans to hear familiar material through a more mature artistic lens, while also reclaiming ownership of her catalog. Beyond the albums and accolades, Suzanne Vega's greatest achievement may be her influence. Long before confessional songwriting became commonplace, she was writing intelligent, character-driven songs about loneliness, childhood, relationships, urban life, and social issues with empathy and nuance. Artists across folk, alternative, indie, and singer-songwriter genres have cited her as an inspiration, and her work continues to resonate because it speaks quietly but directly to the human experience. I've selected a couple of clips of her biggest hits. They're all available in the Matt Forgot That Playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a nostalgic movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Jack and Bobby. Few television dramas have earned the Gone Too Soon label as convincingly as this series. Premiering on the WB in 2004, the series took an unusual approach by mixing a heartfelt family drama with a fictional political biography. Instead of simply telling the story of two brothers growing up in Missouri, the show challenged viewers to watch every decision, triumph, and mistake through the lens of history. From the opening episode, audiences know that one of the boys will someday become President of the United States, but the mystery lies in discovering which brother ultimately reaches the White House, and how life's unexpected twists shape that journey. The series moves effortlessly between the brothers' everyday teenage lives and documentary-style interviews set decades into the future, where political advisors and historians reflect on the events that molded a future commander-in-chief. The result is an emotionally rich drama that values character development over spectacle, exploring family bonds, ambition, sacrifice, and the idea that greatness often grows from ordinary moments. Although it only lasted one season, Jack and Bobby has developed a loyal following among viewers who appreciate smart, character-driven storytelling and continue to wonder what might have happened if the series had been given more time. Looking back, one of the show's greatest strengths is the remarkable cast, many of whom would later become household names. Matt Long brought confidence and charm to Jack McAllister, establishing himself as a promising young actor before later appearing in projects such as Ghost Rider and Manifest. Logan Lerman developed a thoughtful, nuanced performance as Bobby McAllister, years before becoming widely recognized for leading the Percy Jackson films, starring in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and earning praise for Fury. Christine Lottie anchored the series as the fiercely intelligent and often uncompromising Grace McAllister, drawing on the dramatic presence she had already established through acclaimed work in Chicago Hope and other film and television roles. John Slattery, still several years away from his Emmy-nominated performance as Roger Sterling in Mad Men, displayed the polished charisma that would later define his career. Jessica Paré, who would eventually join Mad Men as Megan Draper, also appeared in a significant supporting role, while Edwin Hodge showed the talent that would later carry him into the Purge franchise and numerous television dramas. Eagle-eyed viewers can also spot Bradley Cooper in one of his earliest recurring television performances, long before he became an Oscar-nominated actor and filmmaker. In retrospect, Jack and Bobby serves as both an engaging drama and a fascinating snapshot of so many future stars at the beginning of their careers that would go on to shape Hollywood over the next 2 decades. Episodes of the series are currently available on Hulu and Tubi. A one-season wonder that is truly worth it. That's all for this edition of Matt Forgot That. Thanks for listening to me reminisce. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the rewatch and review. Snipes quickly established himself as one of Hollywood's most magnetic? Matt Long brought Jompidence? What? Wow, Jompidence. That's a new one. I should name my production company that. But underneath all the vibrato... it's bravado, not vibrato. He won an Academy Award for Best Cinematographer for Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World in 2024. In 2004. In how do I pronounce this year?